If my lender approved my loan, doesn't it mean I can afford it? Think again. It's a reason why Australia could be facing a mortgage crisis and why the US had one in 2008. Taking on a massive mortgage to buy a so-called dream home is a huge mistake. So what can you do instead? You need to learn about finance and figure out your safest borrowing amount. And I'll show you 6 guidelines to help you. Firstly, how much debt do you have right now? And how easy is it for you to pay it off? If your current debts are making you feel trapped and stressed about your financial situation, then you're not ready to take on a mortgage. The worst thing that you can do is add more pressure to your finances by taking on more debt. Focus on reducing your current debts and making them more manageable. Depending on where you live, having some debt may help you with your credit score and getting a mortgage later. But having too much debt will definitely hurt you more than it will help you. Number 2, do you have at least 6 months of living expenses in your emergency fund, which include your potential mortgage repayments and other costs of owning a property? If you answer no, then the best time to start saving is now, when you don't have a mortgage. Because once you become a homeowner, you will have less money to save and more bills to pay. An emergency fund will help you avoid stress and getting more debt if something unexpected happens. So don't put yourself in a risky situation by buying a home without a solid emergency fund. It's just not worth it. Save 6 months of expenses first, then enjoy your dream home with peace of mind. Number 3, how old will you be when you make the last mortgage repayment? Will you still be working full-time, or will you want to retire? Retirement may feel far away, but you need to plan ahead and protect your future self. The bank will base your loan term on your current age and the official retirement age, which generally increases over time. But most people want to start slowing down before then. They want to enjoy life without being tied to a job. A mortgage can limit your choices. So don't settle for paying off your mortgage in 25 to 30 years. Think carefully about when you want to be free from your mortgage and have the freedom to choose. Number 4, do you expect any major changes in your situation? This is one of the questions that your lender will ask you when you apply for a home loan. They ask you this question because they want to make sure nothing will prevent you from paying them back. But I personally think these questions are quite pointless because it's like asking you to predict the future. Most people say no to the question in order to get the loan, but change still happens. And change can be good or bad, expected or unexpected, like the family you're creating or the pandemic you never saw coming. But how can you be ready for something you don't know? Well, you can guess that it will affect your income or expenses or both. Having 6 months of emergency funds of course will help, but that's only for the short term. If you have 2 full-time incomes and low debts, you have a great borrowing power and lenders love you. But you should also consider what would happen if one of those incomes disappeared before you commit to a huge mortgage. What could make that happen? Illness, layoffs, breakups, babies are some common reasons. The last one is usually a joyful and welcome change, but many people underestimate how much a baby will cost them in money and time. And the last thing new parents need is to feel stuck by a mortgage that depends on 2 incomes. Now, this is just an example. Whatever your situation is, give yourself some breathing space in your budget to handle the unexpected and important changes in your life. So by now we've established that it's probably a good idea that you borrow less than what your lender will give you, because the lenders will often offer you the biggest home loan they can within the bank's policies. So how do you find your borrowing limit? By looking at your budget.
Oh my god, I hate budgets. They drain my energy and they're so boring.
Honestly, I would take borrowing any day of the week if it means avoiding unnecessary tears, unnecessary stress down the track. A mortgage is a long-term financial commitment, so make sure you stress test this commitment before you sign anything by answering this question. Can you afford the ongoing mortgage repayments plus the additional costs associated with being a homeowner? Now, if you live in a country like Australia, where you can only fix your home loan for a maximum of 5 years, another really crucial question that you need to answer is, can you afford the mortgage repayments when interest rates go up? When I bought my first property, I was paying around 6.5%, but I planned for 12.5% as a worst case scenario based on the loan amount that I was aiming for. Now, I'm not saying that interest rates will go up to 12.5%. That's just what I did to protect my finances finances before buying. During the pandemic boom in real estate in Australia, lenders only added 2.5% to their offer rate as a buffer, which I believe is a major cause for the mortgage crisis that Australia is facing today. Of course, you could just move to the US. Homeowners in the US don't have to worry about any of that because they can fix their mortgages for up to 30 years. Once you know your home buying budget, then walk the talk and prove it to yourself that your finances are up to scratch. Which leads us to the next question. Can you live on your current budget and test your post-buying lifestyle for 3 months? One of the best ways to prepare your finances for a mortgage is to pretend that you already have one and stick to it for at least 3 months. Imagine that you have already bought your dream home for $500,000 and set aside the monthly payments for the loan plus the extra costs like maintenance and insurance. If you're paying rent now, then count that towards the future mortgage repayments. This will give you a realistic sense of how much you can afford and how it will impact your lifestyle. During this experiment, if you find it too hard to keep up with the payments or enjoy your life, then you might want to lower your budget and look for cheaper properties. This exercise will help you find a balance between your income and expenses and get you ready for the ongoing costs of home ownership. But you still need a lump sum, which includes a 20% deposit, which leads us to the final point and the final question. Do you have a lump sum saved up, which includes a 20% deposit for your home purchase? This is one of the biggest hurdles for first home buyers, but having a 20% deposit has a lot of financial advantages. It will save you thousands of dollars in interest by lowering your loan amount. Most lenders will reward you with a better interest rate, which means you have more money in your pocket every month. Plus, you will have more equity and security in your property from day one, and you will avoid the lender's mortgage insurance, which is a very expensive and unnecessary cost that you just don't need. Despite all the perks of having a 20% deposit, many aspiring first homeowners are priced out of the property market because of this challenge. Saving 20% for a home is really hard, especially when prices keep going up. Don't give up. There are other ways, even if you don't have a huge pile of money in the bank, but you need to be careful. These options have their benefits and drawbacks. Watch my next video where I explain these alternatives and help you evaluate the risks and rewards. Thanks for watching.